Hi, Steve Gamache here with a Chef Knives to Go quick look product video, and this time we are looking at the Richmond SKD 11 Gyuto 240mm knife. This line of knives has a core steel of SKD 11 semi-stainless high-speed tool steel at a heat treat of about 62 Rockwell. The construction is stainless cladding over the top of that semi-stainless core, and that cladding has a multi-layered kind of Damascus style look to it into the core steel at the edge. It's a nice looking knife. It's got a fair amount of polish to the sides of the blade. The weight on this knife is 233 grams, about 8.2 ounces, and the blade length is 245 millimeter on this particular one, and so it's got a nice size to it. The overall length, about 14.75 inches. The spine at the heel is 2.1. This is a thin blade, and we'll get a closer look at it, but it's 2.1 millimeters here, and then it maintains most of that, but then thins out really nice with the grind at the edge. The height on this one is about 47 millimeters, slightly over that at the heel, and the handle is just a nicely done black packawood handle with a pinned-on metal bolster. The handle is a little bit more thin and wide, or tall if you will, but it's got a nice feel that fits the proportions of the knife well, in my opinion. It's not an overly large handle, but it should work well for a pretty wide variety of hand sizes. The fit and finish is really good on this blade, and including a nice relief here at the choil and the spine. Out of the box edge is very good, about a 6 out of 10. Very sharp. It's got some good tooth or bite to the edge. This is pretty well ready to rock and roll right out of the box. The close-up look at some of the features on the knife. So here's your spine, and if we look a little closer, what's cool is this particular one shows what's known as sanmai. So you can see the 3-layer sandwich. Sanmai means 3 sheets, or kind of 3 layers. So you can see the core steel showing through there. If this blade had the cladding over the top, it would be known as Warkomi style cladding, but this is true sanmai style cladding. It's really easy to see that, and it gets really thin at the tip. There's what the cladding looks like. It's got a nice look to it. This is a thin blade, so you don't have a lot of convexing to work with, and it's got a pretty smooth, polished finish, so you get a little bit of sticking with some ingredients on it, some wetter, softer ingredients, but that's kind of to be expected with this style of blade. The knife goes through things really, really well, especially at the tip, and just a great all-around blade. The balance point on this knife, bring it back out here a little bit, is right about there, a little bit in front of the bolster, which is just slightly behind your pinch grip. Still gives you a nimble feel on this particular knife. And the belly on this knife, it's kind of a gentle curve throughout style of blade. It doesn't have a long flat spot to it. Let's take a look at it on the board. So here's what it looks like on the cutting board. It rolls nicely from a bit of belly towards the tip into a small flat spot towards the heel. I would not say it's a push cutting dream, but it's a good all-around profile, and it's a really good rock cutter, or glide cutter if you like to glide cut. And you can get, I'm digging in about right there on the tip, so get about there before I start digging in. So it doesn't go super high, but really flows nicely. So, fit and finish, very good on this. It's a really interesting blade. If you're saying, hey, I've been looking for a Takamura R2 in a 240 version, this is probably pretty close to that. So this might be your equivalent to that type of knife. And so there you have the Richmond SKD 11 Gyuto 240mm.